The war against the Xenomorphs was not one humanity had prepared for, nor was it one they could afford to lose. What began as an exploratory mission to the outer colonies had turned into a desperate struggle for survival. The first encounters had been catastrophic. The creatures were fast, relentless, and nearly impossible to kill. Conventional weapons barely slowed them down, and their acidic blood rendered close combat suicidal. What the Xenomorphs lacked in technology, they made up for with sheer biological perfection. Survivors of the early massacres brought back vital intelligence, detailing the creature's hive structure, communication methods, and horrifying reproductive cycle. The military scrambled to develop effective countermeasures, but every battle ended in more losses than victories. Humanity had underestimated the Xenomorphs, and it nearly led to extinction. Then, a new strategy emerged. The remaining human colonies unified under the banner of the Resistance, and tactics shifted from direct engagement to asymmetric warfare. Instead of head-on combat, humanity began waging a war of attrition. Guerrilla units struck from the shadows, using advanced motion tracking sensors and sound suppression technology to detect and eliminate threats before they could reach their targets. Specialized squads were trained to infiltrate hives, sabotage egg chambers, and plant incendiary charges to destroy entire nests. Fire became one of humanity's most effective weapons. Though bullets and explosives only wounded the creatures, controlled burns devastated their lairs. Napalm, plasma-based flamethrowers, and thermite grenades became standard issue for every resistance fighter. The tactic was risky, but the alternative, letting the Xenomorphs spread unchecked, was far worse. Drones and synthetic soldiers were deployed in increasing numbers. These AI-driven units could navigate infested areas without fear, immune to the psychological terror that paralyzed human troops. They were designed to hunt Xenomorphs with relentless efficiency, equipped with high-powered railguns and reinforced exoskeletons resistant to acidic blood. Though their presence was invaluable, humanity knew they couldn't rely on machines alone. The war required adaptability, something no AI could replicate fully. Traps and fortifications became another crucial component of the Resistance's strategy. Electrified barriers, automated sentry guns, and deployable turrets were positioned along critical defense points. Instead of engaging the creatures in close quarters, soldiers lured them into kill zones where coordinated strikes could wipe out dozens at a time. Corridors were lined with retractable walls, capable of sealing Xenomorphs in before flooding the chamber with superheated gas. Psychological warfare played an unexpected role in the conflict. Though the Xenomorphs operated primarily on instinct, evidence suggested a rudimentary hive intelligence. The Resistance exploited this by capturing and studying their behavior, developing countermeasures that disrupted their communication and hunting patterns. Sonic disruptors emitted frequencies that disoriented the creatures, driving them into blind frenzies or forcing them to retreat. Holographic decoys misled scouts, tricking them into leading their hive away from real targets. Even captured xenomorph pheromones were repurposed to manipulate their movements, guiding them into ambushes or away from human strongholds. The war was long and brutal, but the Resistance adapted. Each battle provided new data, new insights into their enemy's biology and tactics. Humanity learned that xenomorphs, for all their terrifying capabilities, had weaknesses. Their reliance on hive structures meant that eliminating a queen could cripple an entire colony. Their aggression could be turned against them, forcing them into fatal engagements. And while they were nearly impervious to direct attacks, extreme cold proved effective in slowing them down, allowing for easier extermination. Despite these advancements, the fight was never easy. Every mission carried the risk of infection. Even a single unnoticed egg could doom an entire battalion. The Resistance established rigorous quarantine protocols, scanning every returning soldier for signs of infestation. If a host was detected, there was no hesitation. Mercy killings became a grim necessity, and self-sacrifice an accepted part of survival. Soldiers carried detonation charges on their armor, prepared to end themselves before becoming unwilling incubators. The tide of war shifted when humanity discovered a method of genetic disruption. Researchers, working in secret laboratories deep underground, developed a virus designed to target the xenomorphs' unique physiology. The pathogen, nicknamed Eclipse, attacked their rapid cellular regeneration, weakening their exoskeletons and disrupting their hive cohesion. When deployed in aerosol form, it caused entire nests to collapse into chaos. Queens lost control over their drones, turning once coordinated attacks into disorganized skirmishes. The resistance wasted no time exploiting this breakthrough. The final phase of the war was the most daring. Instead of waiting for xenomorphs to attack, humanity took the fight to them. In a coordinated offensive spanning multiple planets, resistance forces launched an all-out assault on the largest known hives. Eclipse was deployed en masse, followed by firebombing campaigns that left no chance of recovery. Armored divisions, equipped with next-generation weaponry, stormed through the burning remains of xenomorph nests, ensuring nothing survived. Victory did not come without cost. Entire cities were sacrificed, planets rendered uninhabitable by the devastation. But in the end, the xenomorph threat was driven to the brink of extinction. The resistance, once a desperate coalition of survivors, emerged victorious. Humanity had endured. They had learned, adapted, and outlasted their deadliest enemy. As the war came to a close, the survivors stood among the ruins, knowing that vigilance was their only safeguard against the horrors they had faced. The xenomorphs were gone, but the knowledge of their existence remained. If even a single egg had survived, the nightmare could return. And so the resistance did not disband. They became the Watchers, forever prepared to defend humanity from the darkness that lurked beyond the stars. Years passed and humanity began to rebuild. The Watchers established outposts across former battlegrounds, scanning for any sign of lingering xenomorph presence. New technologies emerged derived from the war. Genetic enhancements allowed soldiers to react faster, think clearer, and withstand more damage. Cybernetic implants provided an edge against the unknown threats that might arise in the future. The lessons learned from the Xenomorph War shaped humanity's approach to exploration and colonization. No longer did they venture into the void unprepared. Every new world was scanned for potential dangers, fortified before settlement. Defensive structures were erected before the first civilians set foot on alien soil. Humanity had become a warrior race, hardened by its near extinction. Still, there were whispers in the dark corners of the galaxy. Rumors of derelict ships carrying remnants of the xenomorph plague. Of secret research stations attempting to harness their power. Some within the Watchers feared that history would repeat itself, that human arrogance would invite another catastrophe. The battle had been won, but the war against extinction was never truly over. Deep in the heart of the Resistance's most fortified base, an alarm blared. A scout ship had intercepted a distress signal from a distant outpost, one that should have been abandoned years ago. The message was garbled, but one word was clear: Xenomorph. The Watchers mobilized. The fight was not over. Humanity's war against the nightmare had only just begun.